You can completely change the way your face looks in only 24 hours. And this can be done by using only a few simple steps that I'm going to go over in this video. With that being said, later in this video, I'm going to give you guys a key resource that is essential to transforming your face. So I recommend sticking around to the end. So before I get into the step-by-step process, let me ask you something. Something that me, alongside many other people, experience is you wake up some days and you feel like you look significantly different than days previous. This is not a coincidence, and it's something that actually happens to all of us. There's multiple different reasons for this, but the first one I want to get into is your body's drainage system. Yes, your body has an entire ecosystem that almost looks like a map where all of the fluid in your body travels. This is known as your lymphatic system. I'm going to tell you how to control your lymphatic system to actually make yourself look better. With that being said, let me tell you how your lymphatic system can actually make you look worse. So like I said, the fluid under your skin is almost like a river system. And if you ever heard of a dam, this is something that actually blocks fluid from traveling. Now the thing is, your body can create its own dams within your system, meaning that fluid can be trapped within your face, your stomach, your body, making you look bloated. So what you need to do is actually free up these waterways. To do this, you need to understand why they might be blocked in the first place. The first thing is muscular inactivity. So if you're an inactive person and you're not moving much throughout the day, it's actually much harder for your body to move fluid throughout your system. This can secondly be caused by sickness. When you get sick, your body swells, including your lymphatic system. This can thirdly be caused by obesity. Having an excess of fat in your body can block your drainage system worse than most things. Now there's also genetic factors and things that you wouldn't think of. Now the question is, how can you fix this within your face? How can you take this drainage and blockage that is literally making your face look swollen and fat and remove it? First and most important thing is staying hydrated. Having an excess of water consumed throughout the day is actually going to help you move the fluid around your body. This is why when people drink 1 to 2 liters of water every day, you'll notice they actually look slimmer. Even though you're consuming a high volume of liquid, this actually has the opposite effect than what you would think. Now this is a really good time to bring up this. This is a jade roller, and it is one of the tools that people claim that can give you a slimmer face and remove fat and all this. A jade roller, a tool like this, doesn't actually remove fat. The reason that some people can see results is because of lymph fluid. A tool like this can forcefully unblock those waterways throughout your face and body. Although the effects are only temporary, if you were to use this in the morning time, you would actually probably notice a subtle difference throughout the day, especially on days where you're sick or you're being inactive. Exercising and being active is obviously also going to help with the movement of your body and the fluid within it, which is why I recommend either going to the gym or going on a walk or doing something active at least one time throughout the day. Even though it has nothing to do with your face, you'll notice a difference within the facial area. That being said, the most important thing is actually your diet. It's pretty obvious that the things that you eat heavily contribute to the way that you look. Most people only look at it in the sense of, this is going to gain me fat, this is going to gain me muscle, this is going to help me lose or gain weight. People often oversee is the fact that what you eat can change the way you look on a day-to-day basis. With all this being said, this is going to get really scientific, so make sure you listen up because this is very important. The 2 biggest contributing factors to the way that you look on a day-to-day basis is your salt and sugar intake. Most people already know that salt helps with you staying hydrated, but can also make you look bloated. The average American is consuming a lot of sodium because they're eating a lot of processed foods. So by simply decreasing the amount of sodium that you're consuming every day, it could help actually de-bloat your body and face. With all that being said, like I said, salt will help you stay hydrated, so you don't want to cut it out altogether. Just make sure your sodium levels are not too high. Now for what's significantly more important, this is really interesting and weird to me. Your sugar intake has the biggest impact on the way you look day to day. The reason being fermentation of sugar within your gut. Yes, there are certain types of sugar that when you consume them, they actually ferment within your body. Basically, your gut bacteria causes that sugar to ferment, causing gas and bloating buildup within your body. Now, what makes it worse is that consuming sugar can be bad no matter what form it's in, meaning that if you eat too much bread, that bread then gets composed into glucose within your body. So you can't eat too much bread. And then there's fruit, which also has a lot of sugar, and there's the obvious processed foods that have sugar like candy. What I recommend doing is detoxing yourself from all of this food throughout an entire day's time. No candy, no bread, no sugar whatsoever. If you feel the need that you have to consume some sort of this sugar, make sure you do it through the form of fruit or a different whole food, because that's going to be the healthiest option. Now you might be sitting there wondering, how are you going to detoxify your body from all of these things that are making you look worse on a day-to-day basis? One of the most important steps in my opinion. You need to start intermittent fasting, and this is an ancient technique. Intermittent fasting is where you wake up, and most people are hungry when they wake up, but what you need to do is completely forget about that hunger that you're feeling in the morning. You need to go as long as possible without consuming a single calorie. All that you're going to consume throughout the entire day until you take your first meal is going to be water. Now this is going to help your body's digestion, which doesn't often get a break, and also contribute in a lot of different good ways. And most importantly, it's giving your gut a break from consuming all the sugar and processed foods that we can't really really avoid. Intermittent fasting will give you a physical difference. You'll feel different throughout the day. What I noticed personally is a lot of your brain fog goes away and you feel very like clear-minded. And for me personally, I get a lot of work done when I'm in this intermittent fasting phase. And not only have I felt like physical differences, but there's also a lot of proven differences that this can make for everyone who tries it. Intermittent fasting has been proven to help with weight loss. The reason being that you simply just usually eat less calories throughout the day when you intermittent fast because you have a lot less time to actually eat anything. It also helps with brain health, heart health, cellular repair process, and a lot more that I have pulled up on the screen right here. Now, for anyone who's actually going to try this, I believe that you will notice a difference within 24 hours. For me, when I look at myself in the mirror and I haven't eaten anything all day, I feel like my face looks so much slimmer. And the thing is, a lot of people like to look at this like it's starving yourself, but it's really not, because you're technically allowed to eat the same amount of food that you do normally, except you're just putting limitations on when. And in my opinion, I don't know why you wouldn't do this when looking at the benefit. If you want, you can also do your own research to look into it, but I genuinely feel so healthy when I do this. Also, just a reminder for you guys, I still have that key resource I mentioned at the beginning of this video that will directly help you make your face look better over time, so I don't recommend missing that part. Besides the point, you've done these 3 things already. After doing these 3 things, you are already going to notice a substantial difference. So now going into step 4, these are the things that are really going to push you over the edge and make you the biggest difference. When I add these last couple things, that's when I notice the greatest like difference when I look in the mirror, and I really want you guys to be able to experience the same thing. Now, before I get into that, I know all of this might sound really overwhelming. The reason I make videos like this isn't because I want you guys to be the most attractive people and like be a mogger or whatever. It's because I used to lack confidence. It was a big issue of mine. And in my opinion, by making these videos, these are the videos I used to watch that really helped my confidence. Because you take a problem, which is having low confidence, and then you kind of like combat that just by doing things about it. When I was younger, I always hated the feeling of having no control over the way I looked and stuff like that. So don't be overwhelmed by this. Don't kind of look at it like you're just trying to look as good as possible. If you're here and you're watching this right now, the chances are you are probably lacking some confidence like I was. And just look at this as a way to combat that. That's all I really want to provide for you guys. And along the way, you want to make sure to stay healthy and in a good mental state as much as you possibly can. With all that being said, let's get into step number 4. Like I said, this is where we get into grind time. This is where you're going to notice the biggest differences. You've already done the heavy lifting, but this is just the icing on the cake. So for step number 4, what you're going to want to do is consume extremely high amounts of protein. This can be in the form of chicken, steak, canned tuna. It doesn't matter what protein you're consuming. If you're vegetarian, I guess you don't have to eat meat, but meat is what I recommend the most. It's nutritionally dense. Meat also supports skin health, gut health, muscle gain, mental clarity, bodily recovery, and appetite suppression. So there is already a ton of benefits that you have from eating this protein. This is what I recommend doing as soon as you break your fast. Like I said, you already did the heavy lifting, but by breaking your fast with straight protein, like for example, I just broke my fast today with canned tuna, your body absorbs this in the best way possible, and I don't know how to explain it. It literally gives you an almost euphoric feeling, and it's really hard to explain to you guys. Your body's already kind of like detoxified from not consuming all that processed food. So when you supply your body with nutritionally dense food as your first thing that you eat after fasting, it's almost like you feel the nutrients like entering your body in a weird way, and it'll make you feel amazing. It'll give you energy, and it calms you down in a way as well. In my opinion, this is how humans were supposed to eat, because think about it, we used to have to hunt for our food for like years on end, hundreds of years. We were not able to eat until we caught our meals. So breaking your fast with straight meat, I feel like is the most primal thing to do, even though that sounds kind of cringy. Also, something I'm really realizing when I'm making this video that I really like is like, you guys can try this today or tomorrow. Instantly, today or tomorrow, you can try this. I recommend doing so because it's not going to cost you anything. It's like completely free. And I'm just sitting here right now with so much energy. It's the middle of the night and I've already gotten all my work done. I'm making this video. I've done so much today. So not only does it make your face look better, but also you feel amazing. So now after step 4, you've broken your fast with the protein. It's finally time for the night. What you need to do is get 8 to 10 hours of sleep in a dark, quiet room. Sleep is the absolute most important thing when it comes to your looks and the way you feel. Don't believe me, there's plenty of studies on it. You can look this up. Go to sleep early, get 8 to 10 hours of sleep. When you wake up the next morning, you will feel like a different person. And do you guys remember that key resource I promised you? It's an entire guide on how to change your face long term, and it's this video right here, so go watch that.